Okay, so we'll just look at a stack of pictures. So these black and white photographs are things I shot when I was in college and maybe my first job in Ottumwa, and then early on in my career in Waterloo.
And just you put them down, just flip them this way. So
yeah, and so kind of just, so this was a student protest about apartheid when the whole apartheid thing in South Africa was going on. They occupied one of the buildings, and so we shot that obviously for the newspaper, and that was just a still photograph from that. And so it's just a weird kind of evolution of your photography skills and being able to see lines and things like that. And then we talked about how much there is in video to go through. When you're early on in still photography, developing a skill set across the graphic and the picturesque parts of it and the content parts of it for journalism, and then lighting, basic lighting stuff, and then just being able to see quiet moments in a football game when the score is 53-0, right? And the guy's got spirit. And then covering events. This was really one of my favorites of all times. Just at a parade, before the parade starts, these girls goofing around, and you're just trying to capture that excitement. We spent a lot of time driving around looking for pictures of people just hanging out and doing things that they do. Yeah. Little kids playing football, and that's kind of the cool thing about that era of photography and that generation is like, we documented people's lives and what they were doing just on a day-to-day basis, and we put it in the newspaper. And not everybody gets to be in a newspaper in their lifetime, and so to put somebody in the newspaper is kind of a cool thing.
Right.
And so you're driving down the road and you see these little kids playing football. I mean, that is Americana, right? That is like. You and I both had some version of that in our childhood. I guarantee you that, right? Yeah, whether I don't think I ever had a helmet, but
no, I mean, we play without that.
Right, exactly. But obviously that wasn't the right size helmet. And then and we covered a lot of sports as well. So then that was my first trip to Ohio State. So that's in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, in the stadium there. Huge stadium, great college football environment, state track. Special Olympics, Iowa basketball, tons of sports over the years. Seen that one already. High school sports, when things go bad. Ottumwa had a kid who was a state tennis champ like 3 years in a row. That was one of his state tournament. And the challenge back then was, manual focus. So this is not autofocus. Right. And look at how tight that shot is. And you're shooting that with a 300. A tennis moves pretty quick when you're at a 300, so right. That was all Ottumwa. This was shortly after I first started in Waterloo, and these are these biplanes, and this is actually shot from another biplane. Wow. Flying above them. So there were 4 of them in the formation. They offered to take one of the photographers up, and photograph the formation. So that was the shot from another one of those. Cool. Really cool. So talk about the experiences you have as a journalist, as a photojournalist. After we did this, he goes, "Oh, you want to go have some fun?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's go have some fun." "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, we'll take this plane and we'll go straight up in the air, and then we'll turn off the motor, and it'll come down, and then when it gets down so low, I'll turn the motor back on." Like, okay. And wish we did. And then we did barrel rolls, and we did like quarter rolls, and it was. Yeah. But the experiences you get as a person in a creative field. We're so lucky. I mean, just so lucky. Nobody else, I don't know anybody else in my life. I literally don't know another human being who's not a photographer who got to experience anything like that. Right. Without paying $1,000.
Right. The camera gets you in and out some places that you never think.
It's like a ticket into another person's life at any time. This is really cool. Young woman, she was probably 14 years old, maybe 15, and that was her child who had some serious health problems. Just really kind of one of the first times I got a real appreciation for how lucky I am to be where I was in life, and to have my health, and to have all my family have their health, Right. Unreal to see that. The 15 years old, she's already experienced way more than I ever did. Back in the day when you could do that. And then just, artistic stuff, stories about immunization or something. I can't remember what the story was about. That's a good one. This is my first presidential candidate shoot ever. That's Ronald Reagan. He was actually president. Obviously, you can see the seal. First time I ever photographed a president, though. Wow. In a little town called Fairfax, Iowa, down by Iowa City. Go Ron Go. Yeah, so this is kind of cool. Oh, this was a cool story.
Hey, pour that one back up.
What's that?
See that one? Pour that one back up. It's like Go Ron Go.
Go Ron Go. I've always been I love shooting stuff from the air.
Yeah.
And that was just from the top of a building. This guy almost died. They had to literally give him the Heimlich and came around and saved his life, basically.
Wow.
And we ran that in the front page of the paper. He was at a birthday party for his cousin or aunt, uncle, who was just turned 100 years old. And he was like 92, or something like that. So
Hey.
kids being kids.
Yep. Yeah,
What
cool
else?
photos. You got that.
Here's
so
back in the day of manual focus and not knowing what you were getting in sports. Take a look at that one. Look where that guy's foot is.
Hold on. I gotta go up. Hold on. Okay.
So you're shooting a game and you shoot. I always shot every punt just in case somebody blocked it, right?
Yeah.
And never. I did not see this when it happened. I did not know that his foot was in that guy's face mask, right?
Right.
But when we go back and edit the film, he goes, "Oh my God, look at that! That's in his face mask."
Yeah, that's a good picture right there. I like that.
That is the nephew of a guy named Otis Sistrunk, who was a famous player for the Raiders way back in the day. Anyway, a bunch of junk. So that's all that. Oh God, I'll bore you with all this. Yeah, there's a boatload of okay, so look at all black and white, and then color, and then bigger prints, and then all sorts of fun stuff. But this was in Ireland. I'm driving down the road, and I look over, and there's this guy riding a bicycle, and he's got his little boy in a backpack on his back. Wow. And the kid's like, hey, he's hanging on for dear life. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Every day I drove to work, I saw this dead tree. And so a couple different times I just shot different pictures of it. And so this is kind of the stuff that I did post-career, just to make pretty, whoops, I guess this is technically during my career. 3 bachelor farmers, they never got married. They were all like 70 years old.
Yeah.
And just the coolest guys. They did not have electricity in their house. They farmed with horses.
Okay.
It was nuts. Cool guys. I don't know what else is in here. Yeah. This is a dude. So I'm driving by my house one day with his dog in his sidecar, and then so I chased him down, found him. So let's go out on the highway and take some pictures someday.
Yeah.
He was all in for doing that. So
yeah, that's a nice picture too. I like cool.
that. Technology that's allowed me to do that is autofocus, because I just Bryce Canyon. I don't know. This is boring stuff. Here's simple pictures like this. This is down in St. Louis by the Arch. I was just down there hanging out with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And just the colors and the expression and everything is just. Here's another president you might recognize.
Oh yeah.
And that was the day he announced he was running for president in Springfield, Illinois, and he came to Waterloo the very next day to make a campaign stop. So he was not president yet at this point.
Okay.
And some guy just handed this guy right here. You can see his hands. He's got a little camera. He handed him this Mr. Potato Head dollar to take his picture. I have no idea why, but right place at the right time. So kind of cool stuff. Sometimes just stuff that catches your eye that looks like it's from a different era. So the cool thing about like not having to have a job as a photographer is I can just take pictures that I like.
Right.
So that's a reflection, and then those people are inside a window walking up a set of stairs. I'm just kind of making pictures that are interesting to me.
Oh, nice one.
It's a good hobby. For so many years I had it as a profession.
Right.
Speaking about earlier, we were talking about people who are happy. They're just happy with life. I went to Jamaica a couple different times to this small mountain village, and the people down there they do not have a lot, right?
Right.
Material possessions, but they're so happy.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
and she doesn't obviously look terribly happy here, but in general, just the happiest people. Really a humbling experience, and just kind of again, made you appreciate what you have in life. That's kind of boring. That's kind of boring. Yeah, that'll be enough of that. Anyway.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's cool, man. Cool pictures, man.
It's been a good time. I mean, and like I said, I was lucky to be able to do it for a career for years, and then.
Then you want to take a picture with one of these for, like she said, like for the what's the name? For the thumbnail.
Oh yeah. What is one that really? I kind of like that one with the guy with the motorcycle.
Yeah, that one. I like that one too.
That's a kind of an all-time fave. I'm just looking at what else have I got in here. I don't know why I did. What am I ever gonna do with all these pictures?
You got some shit though. I like it though. Do it like a
big exhibition somewhere.
Yeah, like a.
Here's the craziest thing.
Yeah, we should do that. We should get you some people to come look at your photos.
So they're having that art show over in the. All right, so I've got a few pictures in that.
Okay.
And when I was joking with the woman who's running it, Jennifer, she said, "You're a prolific photographer, meaning you have a lot, right?"
Right. And
I was like, "Yeah, does that mean I'm good?" I said, "Are you trying to say that, or are you just saying I got a lot?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a lot." Yeah, it's just what I was going to say was the crazy thing is, so I worked at the Courier with 3 other photographers for the most part. We had other part-timers in and out. But those 3 guys were such great photographers. I mean, I think I was probably second out of the 4, maybe third. Yeah. and I think I'm a pretty decent photographer.
Oh yeah.
Those guys were so good, and and all around the state at that time, there were a lot of newspaper photographers.
Right.
And like the Des Moines Register at one point had probably 12 photographers that worked there, 12, 15 photographers, all better than us. And they're just really great photographers. And when you're surrounded by that kind of quality of work, it's inspiring, right? You all of a sudden you see, man, look at that guy's work. It's just, and you want to go out and just be better.
Hey, Sue, water.